Boardgames 4K.
Hello, we're back. This is part 4, isn't it? I can't remember. Anyway, we're doing a run through of our complete board game collection that we've been amassing since about 1982. Blimey, that's a long time, isn't it? But yeah, this is part 4. We're going to crack on. I've just got up, so I thought we'd get this out of the way. But can you tell I just got up? But yeah, so we finished with Labyrinth. We're going to crack on and see how far we get with this one. So yeah, let's go. Yeah, so we started with Labyrinth. We ended with Labyrinth, and we're going to move on. And we've got Once Upon a Time. This is a storytelling game. You've got a load of cards, and you're trying to basically sort of get rid of all your cards whilst telling the best story. It's a bit hit and miss. Yeah, you can watch a good run through this one if you watch Will Wheaton's Tabletop series. I don't know, mate, I think it was done in season 1 a few years ago, so that's probably the best thing to do. You need a right group of players for this, and yeah, it's all right. Celestia, this is a game where it's like a push your luck game. So you're in this sort of weird airship type thing, and you're deciding whether or not to stay in or get out before the airship crashes, and it's pretty good. So right from Bright, this is a cycling game. This is the forerunner to the very popular recent game Flamme Rouge. Is it better than Flamme Rouge? I don't know. It's a different kind of game. We really enjoy this one. It's got unique drift mechanics, and even though it's roll and move, it seems to sort of work quite well. So yeah, right from Bright, yeah, Spiel des Jahres won it in 1992. There you go. So this is the Conquest of Narath, a very, very underrated area control type war game with the Dungeons and Dragons thing slapped onto it for absolutely no reason whatsoever. But yeah, it's pretty good actually. I mean, the component quality is not too bad, but yeah, it's a very simple area control, and it's actually quite fun. So if you could pick it up cheap, I think we picked this up for about 12 quid in a sale, so it's actually quite good, so that's worth picking up. Monster Talk. This is a kiddies Habba game. Basically what you got is loads of wooden marbles chucked into this box, because the box is the actual game board, and you've got these sort of weird spoons. You're trying to fish the right colours out and put them onto the menu so that you can win the game, and it's really good for young children. If you've got young kids, this is one of the better Habba games. So yeah, there you go. You've got Vital Lacerda's The Gallerist, and this one is lavishly overproduced. It's very simple. There's not that many actions you can do, but it's like how'd you put it? It's like it blossoms, it flowers out into all these different choices emerge from these very, very few actions, and but you're basically just trying to take control of a gallery, and you're trying to encourage people to come and look at the works of art that you've bought throughout the game. We've got a couple of Kickstarter promos in there, and it's good, but it was very, very expensive at the time, and we were umming and ahhing whether or not to get it, because it turns out it seems to be Vital Lacerda's games are now really, really expensive, and that puts us off buying them. But we picked this one up, and we're glad we did, because it's really good. Fun Employed is another one of those type Cards Against Humanity things. So there's loads of jobs, and everyone's got these cards with sort of funny words on them, and then somebody is the interviewer and somebody's the interviewee, and then you've got to try and sell yourself to get the job, and whoever does the best sort of interview will get the job. It's actually quite funny. It's not as good as what people would have you believe, but it's still actually quite funny with the right group of people. But if people don't want to act up and sort of play out and do a bit of role playing, it kind of falls flat. So yeah, that's Fun Employed. This is Outlive. This is the limited Kickstarter edition with all the extra components and all that sort of thing. This is a surprisingly brain-burning Euro worker placement game, you know. So you're putting your workers out onto this post-apocalyptic board, trying to get resources to get points whilst keeping your facility intact, and the player who's got the most points at the end of the game is the one that gets rescued. It's pretty good. It's a bit too brain burnery for us. I think even though it's a simple game, it does provide you with too many options. There's a lot going on, but you could probably pick up the standard version of this one quite cheap, I reckon. I think I've seen it online for about 15 quid, and it's worth doing if you can pick it up for that price. But yeah, it's Outlive, yeah. So we're going to do the ones at the front now. So you've got the Hare and the Tortoise. This is a wonderful, wonderful racing game. So you're going to be placing bets on these different animals from the sort of old fairy tales, and then you will be playing cards and moving them, and each one of these animals will move in a specific type of way, and you're trying to get your animals to finish first, second or third, whilst trying to stop other people's animals from finishing first, second or third. And it's wonderful, it really is good. So yeah, there's that one. So this is Get Bit. This is a game where you've got these robots that are swimming, and you're sort of playing cards, and whoever's to move these robots in a specific type of order, and whoever's in last place will lose a limb and get bit. And it's the last man standing type thing, and it's all right. This is apparently the deluxe version, but yeah, it's not too bad and it's not too good. So 2 rooms and a boom. This is a party game for up to, is it 60 people? I don't know. It plays with a minimum of 6, not that great. The more people, the better. And you've got a president and a terrorist in, you need 2 rooms, obviously, for this. You've got president in one room, terrorist in the other room, and then you'll be choosing some people to swap over. And at the end of 3 rounds, if the terrorist and the president are in the same room, the terrorist wins. And if the president and the terrorist are in different rooms, then the president wins. So yeah, there you go. It's 2 rooms and a boom. Fantastic party game, well worth picking up if you can amass a huge crowd. Right, there you go. So you've got Bonanza. This is a, let's turn that light round. Bonanza, this is a bean planting game, one of Uwe Rosenberg's most famous games, one of his first games. So you're putting these bean cards out to make sets, and yeah, the stinky bean is always the one that creates a laugh. Yeah, so Bonanza, we're not that fond of it. It's really dated now, you know, it's quite old now. So yeah, it's spawned loads of expansions. Uwe Rosenberg's Bonanza, Vlada Shvartal's Bunny Moose Moose, a unique game. This is a very, very funny game where you're playing cards into a tableau whilst you're doing these sort of moose and bunny actions, and you're singing a song as you play the game. I can't really describe it. You need to play it for yourself or watch a video on it. So yeah, bunny moose moose. Right, so there's a couple of cash and gun expansions. We already talked about that one, so we don't need to bother that one. Samurai Spirit, a tower sort of defense game by Antoine Bowser, sort of slipped under the radar. It's okay, it's not that great. So yeah, it's all right. It's a very, very small game, but if you like Antoine Bowser's games, this one might be up your street. So we got Dobble. This is a card matching game. So it's like a system. There's various games in the tin, and you will be essentially playing these very thin crappy paper cards onto the table and trying to match symbols on the cards or not. There's loads of different games in there. It's actually quite good. If you haven't played it, you can pick this one up for next to nothing. And yeah, Dobble. Yeah, so the boss, we haven't played this one. This is a very small mafia style game, obviously. Don't know much about it. We've never really got it to the table, because when we play 4-player games, we generally play bigger games. But we might actually, well, we should really play it, shouldn't we? But we can't tell you much about this one. Railways of the World. We've got a few maps in here. This is the bog standard version. We've got the Railways of Great Britain and the Railways of Europe in here. So there's a few maps in here. We've got the Antarctic map in there, and we're getting the Portuguese map, which is by Vital Lacerda. This is an absolutely fantastic train go. We don't like trains. We can't stand trains, but Railways of the World is absolutely brilliant. You need to pick it up if you can. There's loads and loads and loads of maps. It's infinitely replayable. Wonderful game, super duper. Right, so Zombicide, we've got all the Zombicide mission books in here. Every single scenario available for Zombicide that it could be printed off in the whole of the universe or the multiverse. So yeah, it's absolutely huge. It's enormous. So you can see that it takes up, I don't know, it must be about 500 different scenarios in there. So we've got Zombie Tower 3D. This was a curiosity that we picked up on Kickstarter a little while ago. It's not that great, actually, to be honest with you, but you've got this big 3D sort of zombie tower that you create, and then one of the unique things about this is that you can't see what's going on your opponent's side. So it's a little bit novel, but it's not that great. So code names. This is a game by Vlada Shvartal, where you've got a load of words in the centre of the table, and you're giving clues to your team. So you're trying to guess which clues are where based on some key card that only you can see. So to be honest with you, I don't really like this game. I find it a bit boring, and I know loads of people like it, but it just doesn't produce that sort of party atmosphere for me. It's very drab. Word games don't tend to do very well in our game group, but if you like it, that's fine. Of course, you know, it's sold not millions. I don't know how many copies it's sold, but it's sold loads of copies for a bloody good reason. Anyway, You got Arkham Horror, the card game. This is everything for the Dunwich Legacy, everything for the Night of the Zealot, the core game, and all that. Then we got a load of other stuff behind us, but we'll have a look at that in a bit. Yeah, what can I say? It's one of the best card games. A bit like Lord of the Rings, a card game if you played that one, but this one just keeps on going, and it hasn't lost its hasn't run out of steam yet. So yeah, Arkham Horror, the card game, definitely it's good as a solo game, and it's definitely worth playing if you can. Well, if you need 2 core sets for 4 players, but yeah, it's worth playing. Royals, one of our favourite games of all time, a very, very easy area control cube pusher from Peter Hawes. It's wonderful. It's got a reprint by Dice Tower Essentials, and for good reason, because if Tom Vassell likes it, I like it too. Ice Cool, Ice Cool. This is a dexterity penguin flicking game where you are trying to flick your penguin through doors to get fish, and it's really good. We really like this because our kids like flicking penguins, and you can do, like a lot of dexterity games, it promises that you can do all these trick shots and it never really delivers, but this one does, because if you can get better at it, and that's one of the good things about it. It's Ice Cool, great dexterity game. So we've got Star Wars Risk, Nothing Personal. We've not played it. Let's see if we can get in there. Nothing Personal. It's a game designed by Tom Vassell and some other bloke. We've not played it, but it's to do with mafia negotiation, because that's what he sort of likes, isn't it? You know, but yeah, we've not played it, so we can't really talk about it. Star Wars Risk, the Black Edition. It's actually, this one is a reprint of an old game by Rob Daviau called Star Wars: The Queen's Gambit, and that fetches like silly money on eBay, and it sort of tries to recreate that sort of thing. This one's got a better components. It's actually really quite a good game, actually. So it's 2 players, I think it is, and yeah. So Star Wars Risk. It's Risk, but not Risk, if that makes sense. Matchball. This is a surprisingly good dexterity game from Ravensburger. So what you got is you've got a ping pong ball and 3 pieces of card, 1, 2, 3. You roll a die, and you've got to throw the ping pong ball into these series of targets, but you've got to hit the number that you roll before the ball hits the target. So we love it. It's absolutely brilliant. So I don't know, it just doesn't, I've never heard anyone talk about this game, but I think you can pick it up cheap on Amazon, I think. And if you like dexterity games and you've got kids and you like something just silly fun just to mess about with, it's actually quite skillful. Matchball is a fantastic game. Funny old thing, isn't it? So Miami's, this is an ant colony simulator. We haven't played it because like I said, I've got a phobia of these like insects, and I don't know, I don't even know what's there. Oh, that's making me feel sick right now. Ugh. So Las Vegas, one of our favourite games of all time. This is an area majority dice chucking game where you're trying to make sure that you've got the highest number of dice on different casinos to win the highest prize, and it's brilliant. You really need to pick up Las Vegas. It's one of the best, wonderful games of all time. Everybody loves this. I take this to work with me sometimes, and it always goes down a storm. We love it. Las Vegas, super duper. Right, so we've got Rory's Story Cubes. It's not really a game. It's more of an activity, isn't it? So you've got these cubes with all these different icons on. You roll the dice, and then you make up a little story. So it's very basic. You may as well, you could just put like tokens in a bag, couldn't you? But you know, kids like it, and we were curious. We picked it up, and yeah, there you go. I don't know who Rory is. Who's that? That's somebody out of the Animal Crackers, isn't it? Never mind. So Dawn of the Zeds, the 3rd edition. This is it's another tower defense game, and it was originally a solo game, but they've upped the ante to 1 to 4 players, and it's absolutely awesome. It's quite complex if you play with all the rules, but the rule book does give you a step-by-step tutorial through all the rules, so you take pigeon steps towards playing the full game, and it's brilliant. It really does get you into the mood. It's so thematic. It really does get into the mood that there's a zombie apocalypse happening right now. So Dawn of the Zeds, absolutely brilliant. Tower defense sort of shit yourself game. So yeah, this is a broom service. Do you know what? We've never played it. We bought the German version. We thought it was language independent, and it's not, so we had to print the cards out ourselves, and that took the wind out my sails, so we've just plonked it on the shelf. So here we got Lift It. This is a really fun dexterity game. You've got these hooks that you've got attached to your head most of the time, right? And then you've got to dangle the hook over the board and pick up these different shapes and place them down onto like a player area in a certain order. And it's funny because you're seeing your wife or your mum like sort of apple bobbing over the board, and it's weird. It's a weird game. So, but yeah, it's highly recommended. We love that one. So we'll do one more shelf down here, shall we? We've got a spy. We've got oh God, is that Crazy Pilots? I can't remember what it's called now. Yeah, I think it's something like that. But this one, you are rolling these weird sort of cylindrical type dice, and deciding whether or not you're going to move your plane to the next bit based on what you roll. And if you don't roll what you need to roll to move, then you crash. And it's sort of a push it up first to 15 points. Really good for children. Highly recommended for kids if you can find it. I think it's I can't remember what it's called, but it's called whatever that is in German. Right, so Spyfall, a party game that went down like a lead balloon every time we try and play it. That's not to say it's not good, because I do enjoy playing it, but you need the right group. You don't actually need to buy the game, because you can play this online. There's a website that lets you play Spyfall. So you've got a variety of locations, and the players know what the location is, but the spy doesn't. And you've got to ask each other questions to try and root out the spy, and the spy needs to find a location. So you really need to have the right group of players for this one, because otherwise it's gonna be an epic fail. So Forbidden Island, this is a Matt Leacock game, sort of the same sort of thing as Pandemic. It's got a wonderful aesthetic. You're basically just trying to find the 4 artifacts and get off the island before it sinks. It's superb, it's cheap, it's wonderfully thematic. Reminds us of that old 90s game called Myst, and it's super. So Wink, this is a game, well, we've not actually played it, but we've read about it. We picked it up, and we can't really get 8 players to the table to play this one. But you've got a series of cards on the table, and you're trying to wink at somebody to show them which cards you've got on the table. But if you get found out doing it, then by the wrong person, then you suffer a penalty. And yeah, blah blah blah. Ice Cool 2. We thought this was going to be a lot different to Ice Cool 1, but it's basically the same game in a box. It would have been better if they'd mixed and matched and give us some different ways to make up the board, but they didn't, and it's a bit disappointing actually. But if you want to play it with 8 players, then it's a must. So that's why we got it. Yeah. So Scythe, the Wing Gambit, an expansion for Scythe that brings in airships. A bit hit and miss. Adds a little bit of bloat to the game for no apparent reason. And yeah, I don't know, it just sort of fell flat when we played it. But there's a couple of little bits in there that we use, like the different end game type things. So yeah, it's quite good. Archipelago, one of our favourite games of all time. This is a 4X game, and you'll be trying to conquer the new world, settle, gain resources, get victory points, whilst trying to fulfil your personal objective. It's Christoph Bollinger's masterpiece, one of the best games that we've ever played, and it's highly recommended. So Estoril 1942, this is the German version of a game. It's a weird game, because you've got all these different spies and different locations, and do you know what, I can't actually remember how to play it, but we have played it, and it's sort of instantly forgettable. But we got the expansion in there, which we didn't really use, and there's a reason why we can't remember how to play it, because it's not, I don't think it's rubbish, but I don't think my wife liked it. I think that's why we haven't played it since. So Catan Junior, sort of a lackluster take on Catan for kids. Doesn't really work. It's a bit too feeble. My little boy played it when he was 6, and he just said, "Oh, this is a bit too simple." But yeah, didn't really like that. It seemed a bit weird. Lords of Hellas, we don't like. I'm not saying we don't like this game. It's just it's overhyped, and there's not enough in there, and I think the game's broken. It doesn't really work, because in our experience, you could just keep spamming the monuments, right, and then get the points that way. And if you just dump a load of armies into that space, then no, there's nothing no one can do. So yeah, it's a bit feeble. We'd rather play other games of its type. XCOM, the board game, this one, it looks like poo, and it's a timed sort of crisis management game by Eric Lang, and I don't like it. It was boring. So yeah, moving on. Potion Explosion, marbles in a sort of a dispenser. You've got to try and get the right marbles out to create these potions and get certain points. Yeah, it's all right. It's not as good as what people say. I think it's a victim of its own, how do you put it, gimmicks. So, but it's fun. You know, my wife likes playing this, so that's why we kept hold of it. Forbidden Stars, a fantastic game by Fantasy Flight and Games Workshop. Yeah, sadly it's out of print, so if you could pick it up, if you can get it, it's well worth it, because it is a really good space sort of 4X type sort of game, sort of game, yeah. But yeah, it's a real shame that there weren't any expansions for this one, but it's there, we got it, and it's we will keep playing it because it is absolutely awesome. Room 25, this is it's got a hidden traitor mechanism in there. You've got a load of tiles. You're trying to find the exit whilst avoiding the traps, and it reminds us of that 1996 film, The Cube, or just Cube, wasn't it, the Canadian movie. And yeah, it's really good. It's underrated. It flew under the radar. Another gem by Matago. So yeah, check it out if you get a chance. Century Spice Road, this is a wonderful cube pushing card acquisition game that is it's one of our favorite games. It's really simple, really fast to play, but that sort of time mechanism where it's the first to get six cards, I think that creates a lot of tension in the game, and it's absolutely awesome. So yeah, so Abyss, this is another Bruno Cafala game. We really enjoy this one. There's a couple of little bits in it that don't really make sense to us, that are put in there for sort of weird reasons, but yeah, the theme's really good, it looks really pretty, and there's a lot of interesting choices in this one. So if you haven't played Abyss, we'd highly recommend it. So Scythe, this is Jamie Stegmaier's second masterpiece. It's a wonderful game. It may be a little bit too slow to get moving, and there may be not enough combat in the base game, but you know, so far as you know, big, grandiose, wonderfully produced, awesome games go, you can't get much better than a game of Scythe. So we're going to wrap that up. We're going to leave it there. We've done 22 minutes. It must be mad. We're going to wrap that up there. Then we're going to come back for part 5. We've only done 2 shelves. Sorry, but we've got a few more to do. But if you get bored, then just don't watch these videos. Do you know what I mean? So go and watch something else. Go and watch Tom Vassell waffle on about a game about cucumbers or something. Have fun today, and we'll see you next time.